Alright, so this vehicle came in for a bunch of issues. What ended up happening was the serpentine belt snapped, so it caused overheat condition. Battery light came on, check engine light came on, no steering, stuff like that. So you can see down here the belt's all shredded, so that's going to get replaced. We're going to do a video for that. And also the pump did need to be replaced, and I don't know if it was because of the belt, if it tore something. We're going to replace the pump and this power steering hose here too. This is the power steering reservoir here. The pump is actually down there. What I'm going to do is I actually already had taken the intake off here. It's a clamp here, a clamp back here. This piece can pull out like this. Okay, set it back. This air cleaner, all you have to do is pull up on this end and out, and I'll show you the only thing holding it in on the bottom are these two things. They go right into there. So that's why you just gotta pull up and then out towards the passenger side, so that'll come up. The power steering pump is this right here. The easiest way, we're gonna get it from underneath, just with hand tools. Get it under here. I'll try to show you. So there it is. There is a bolt right there, and then it looks like there's two. It's hard to get with the camera here, but right where my finger is another bolt here and another bolt up there. Sorry, it's dark. Once you're under here, they're not hard to see. It's just I can't get it with the camera. So those are gonna come out, and then we'll probably start by breaking the line first. They're easier to get when they're in the vehicle, so we'll get that, then take out those 3 bolts, take out the pump, and get the new one in. So I'm gonna get that out and then I'll show you. Alright, so pump's out. You can either buy a new pulley, or if you have the tools, you can take off the old one. You need a vise, a puller. You don't need an impact, but I do. And you get the right size, and this should just pop right off here. Get this to work. Should pop right off. And sometimes that doesn't work, and you gotta go buy a brand new one with the pump. About a $27 pulley. And by the way, that's just hammered on, pressed on. If you're gonna hammer it lightly. You don't want to mess up the shaft there. Alright, so you definitely want to put the line in before you put it in, the high pressure line at least. It's impossible to get to once it's in. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in. I wish I had a better camera for you guys so I could show putting it in, but I'll just show it. Alright, so there's the new pump in. There is 4 mounting bolts. This one only had 3. I'm not gonna go searching at the hardware store for one of the same thread and width and length, because it seemed to be on there pretty good, and I really don't have the time. It's not the right way to do it, but it seemed to hold. So that's in. High pressure line in the back first. Before you put that high pressure line, you need to feed in the bolt below it first. Put the bolt in first and then that high pressure line, so you can actually fit it in there. Otherwise the high pressure line blocks it. And then I got that clamp back on using those using the same pliers as I used when I took them out. So that's secure. So now I'm gonna go up top. Alright, so back up top. This is one of the power steering lines with the cooler. It's bad. If you look down here, it's actually really rusty, where this rubber line turns into a metal line. It's pretty common. There's also leaking up top here somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this whole part. What I'm doing is I got this pipe cutter here, and I'm just gonna shear it off here, and I have a replacement hose for this. They usually just sell the hoses for you to rebuild this. It was difficult. I'm sure from the dealer you can actually get the entire line and replace it to a cooler. That's the right way to do it. It's late, the dealer wasn't open, so I just went to the parts store and I bought the line. So I'm going to replace this line using new clamps. So as far as the belt goes, I guess I'm clear here. There's usually a diagram on the front of your the radiator cover right here. They usually fade. Basically, it's fairly simple. If you already have a belt, you just You can sketch a little diagram before you take it off. That's the easiest way to do it. Take a picture or video, whatever works. This belt was shredded, so I had to look it up. So it essentially starts here. It goes over the alternator pulley, under this tensioner pulley, or under this pulley, down to the AC compressor there, and it goes around it that way, and then it comes back up over the tensioner, under the crank. Okay, so you're gonna go under the crank, you're gonna come back up over the crank, come this way, okay, and then back down to the power steering pulley, around it, and all the way back up to the alternator pulley. Okay. Also, the easiest way to do it is probably to take off the fan shroud here. I don't want to say the easiest way because that can be a pain in itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this belt, and I got this new belt here. Let me show you right off. Sorry. Just from the local parts store. Here, hopefully it's right line. We'll find out soon. And I'm just going to slip it in through here. I'm going to leave the top part. Let me see if I can put this camera in such a way that you can see what I'm doing without it getting in the way. You know, I'm probably not gonna be able to, but I'm just gonna slip the bottom part through here, feed it down through the bottom, and then pull it over the shaft to the front of the engine. So that's the easiest way to do it. All right, so I got the belts all routed in now. I did have to, it's probably not the best way to do this. If you take the fan blade off, it's probably much easier. I wouldn't say much easier, but for most people it might be much easier. I ended up by loosening these 3 screws to pull this back a little so I could sneak the belt in between this pulley tensioner and the block to squeeze it in there. It took me about 2 minutes to do, and then I tightened it back up. So it is kind of a pain in the ass. I'm sure some people are gonna comment on easier ways to put this belt in, but that's the way I did it. Had to feed it through here and then back once or twice. But sorry I couldn't be more helpful with the belt. So now 1/2 inch ratchet on here, pull it up, and I always save the easiest pulley for last, so I'm gonna put tension on that and then pull this up. And then before you let go, you just double check every single pulley. Don't forget one, don't forget any of them, to make sure that they're all lined up and that they're actually seated correctly. All right, so after the belt's in, I'm just gonna put all the intake stuff back. All right, so air cleaner box goes in first. It's gonna go in here. It's tough with one hand. That's gonna go in, and it's gonna sit in those 2 notches right there, and then simple, and then this piece is gonna go back. And don't forget to tighten those 2 clamps. That has to attach to a hose back, evap hose back there. So, wish I could use 2 hands and hold the camera, but don't forget when you're putting the intake back. Just, you know, something to keep in mind when you're putting the intake back. When you take it off, all these things, all these small things here that you don't really think of, come loose. You know, this one here, this canister back, there's a canister back here that a hose attaches to, and they don't use any clamps, so they come up pretty easy. So just make sure all this stuff's buttoned back up and everything's got somewhere to go. All right, then you're going to top off the fluids. I like to jack up the front end, turn the wheel left and right, maybe 10 times each, double check the fluid, start it, and go from there.